dog knows you're coming home before your car hits the driveway, before your keys touch the lock, sometimes before you've even turned onto your street. And no, it's not mind reading. It's something stranger, quieter, and honestly, way more beautiful. In a small town in northern England, there was a terrier named Jaytee. Every afternoon, sometime between 4:00 and 5:00, Jaytee would get up, walk to the window, and wait for his owner to come home. The strange part was, his owner didn't leave work at the same time every day. Sometimes she was at work, sometimes at a shop, sometimes somewhere else entirely. But somehow, when she started heading home, Jaytee seemed to know. People were stunned. Cameras were brought in. A scientist even got involved. Jaytee became famous because it looked like he could sense his owner from far away, like there was some invisible connection between them. A whole argument grew around the idea that maybe this dog was psychic, but that's not what was happening. What was really happening is far more fascinating, because it tells us something incredible about dogs in general, maybe even about your dog. Picture this. It's late afternoon. Your dog has been asleep in the same spot for an hour, maybe two. The room is quiet. Nothing obvious has changed. No footsteps outside, no car in the driveway, no sound at the door. And then suddenly, your dog lifts their head. Not all the way up, just enough. Maybe their ears twitch. Maybe they pause like they're listening to something you can't hear. Then they settle down again. A few minutes later, they do it again. And not long after that, they're at the door, waiting. How did they know? Because they did know. Most of us have seen this happen and just accepted it as one of those magical dog things. But it's not magic. It's biology, memory, and something so subtle most people never think about it. The first piece is the easiest to understand. Your dog has an internal clock. Just like humans, dogs run on daily hormonal rhythms. Their bodies rise and fall with the day. Certain hormones help wake them up in the morning, keep them alert, and shift their energy as evening gets closer. So when your dog starts getting a little more watchful around the same time each day, part of that is simply built in. Their body already has a rough sense of what time it is. But that alone doesn't explain the full picture. The second piece is how dogs experience absence. Researchers once filmed dogs who had been left alone for different lengths of time, some for 30 minutes, some for 2 hours, some for 4 hours, and then watched how they reacted when their owners returned. The dogs left alone for 2 hours greeted their owners much more intensely than the ones left for only 30 minutes. More excitement, more movement, more vocalizing, more contact. But here's the part that matters. The dogs left alone for 4 hours didn't react much more intensely than the ones left for 2. That suggests dogs do register time, but not the way we do. They're probably not counting minutes in a neat, precise way. It's more like they feel the difference between you just left and you've been gone. Beyond a certain point, it all becomes one category: absence. That's why your dog can greet you like you've returned from war when you only ran out for coffee. To them, you weren't gone for 90 minutes. You were just gone. And now, suddenly, gloriously, you're back. But the third piece is the most amazing one. Some researchers believe dogs may actually track time through smell. Think about what happens when you leave your house in the morning. Your scent is everywhere, on the couch, in the hallway, on the air itself. The space is full of you. But as the day goes on, that scent slowly fades. Molecules disperse. The concentration changes. The house smells less and less like you with every passing hour. Now imagine being a dog with a nose powerful enough to notice those changes in extraordinary detail. To your dog, your scent may not just be a smell, it may be a clock. They know what the house smells like 15 minutes after you leave. They know what it smells like at noon. And if your schedule is consistent, they may learn exactly what the air feels like right before you usually come home. Not because they're guessing, not because they're psychic, because they've been reading that pattern every day. There was even a test based on this idea. An owner left home as usual, and later in the day, someone spread the owner's scent around the house again, using a worn shirt. The result? The dog's usual waiting behavior got delayed. It was as if the scent-based timeline had been reset. The house smelled earlier than it really was. That changes everything, because when your dog perks up before you get home, it may not be one signal they're responding to. It may be 3 signals playing together at once: an internal body clock, a learned pattern of your routine, and a fading scent map they've memorized over time. That's not a trick. That's not luck. That's a living system. And if your schedule is unpredictable, your dog may rely less on the scent pattern and more on other clues: your car from down the block, your footsteps in the hall, the sound your keys make, even tiny environmental shifts you'd never notice. It doesn't mean they're less bonded to you. It just means they're using a different method. So when people looked at Jaytee in that window and thought they were seeing a psychic dog, maybe they were missing the real miracle. A psychic dog would just receive a message, but Jaytee wasn't receiving one. He had become one. His body, his nose, his memory, his senses, all of it had been tuned over years to one person's rhythm, one person's scent, one person's return. And that may be what your dog is doing too. So this week, watch closely. Don't wait for the dramatic moment when your dog runs to the door. Watch for the first tiny sign. The ear flick. The head lift. The pause. The shift in posture. That almost invisible second when something inside them says, now. Because your dog is not just waiting for you. They are reading the day, measuring your absence, and feeling the shape of your return before you ever step inside. And once you notice that, you'll never watch them the same way again.